Thank you for welcoming me onto your screens or onto your headphones, depending on how you're watching this. I'm Eddie, and this is the Rollback. Flamin Hot, aka Hot Cheetos, has an origin story. Which, fun fact, actually, if you're watching this, only in South Texas do we call them Hot Cheetos. Everywhere else calls them Flamin Hot Cheetos. I don't know why. As far as I'm concerned, these are Hot Cheetos. That's about as simple as it gets. Damn, I didn't excuse to eat some of those. So, synopsis. A son of an immigrant and janitor at the Frito-Lay factory decides to help revitalize the entire company by coming up with an idea for Flamin' Hot Cheetos. A flavor that is really inspired by his culture, his people. We like spicy things. So, cards on the table. I had really low expectations for this movie. I did not expect it to have as much heart as it did, which, shockingly, it has loads of it. A lot of heart that goes a long way. This film is unexpectedly kind, but unexpectedly hardworking and funny. It has no business being so accurate to culture. And what I mean by that is to Mexican culture, or Latino culture, or my culture at least, because watching this film was weird, because I could relate to everything that was happening, not just on a fundamental level of like, hey, I understand, man to man, someone who has to, support their family, someone who has to support their family. But even going beyond that, cultural differences, without disclosing too much, there are certain aspects of the whole neighborhood that are true, that are accurate, stuff that I knew growing up. In addition to that, the fact that he is an immigrant, both my parents are immigrants. My mother actually worked in the fields in California. My dad sold chicles, bought a shoe shine box so he could shine shoes and make even more money than selling chicles. And then he started driving a garbage truck when he was 12. Point being, we are an immigrant family. Both my parents are immigrants and are incredibly hardworking people. They instilled that work ethic in me and my sisters with no question. And this film hits really close to home because it feels relatable. I could see my dad and my mom in this film, as far as not just, person that works hard, but also the support that Judy and Richard, the support that Richard and Judy have for one another. They have each other's back. She's very encouraging to him. She never puts him down. Also, that's another aspect of the film that I really like. They don't give him sole credit. They spread the credit among the family. They work together on this because although Dominic Toretto has turned it into like a stupid ass superpower, family really does matter. At least good family matters. Working together, building a positive relationship, not beating your kids because you're a drunk alcoholic. Just fucking saying. By the way, that's not a joke, like I didn't come from that environment. My parents were great to me. You're gonna notice that the audio kind of bleeps. Just know that Richard's father is a stereotype. I'll leave it at that. This review is going off the rails real fucking quick. Real quick, shout out to Jesse Garcia, who actually plays Ricardo Montañez, and Annie Gonzalez, who plays Judy, his wife. There was chemistry there. They actually felt like they were a real couple, and I know they're not a couple in real life. I severely doubt that they are, but they had chemistry. They sparked. They worked together. They felt like a real couple. Props to them for that capacity. This film, it feels authentic. It feels Latino. I heard the music. How do you say this without tooting my own horn? Everything that happens in this film, whether it comes to Richard and Judy and their family, or when it comes to their extended family, or even like their friends in the neighborhood and the hood in general, I get it, I've seen it, and I can relate to this. And to see somewhat the environment that I grew up in relative to this was amazing, but also somewhat heartbreaking. There are points in the film where racism is not just blatant, it's expected and obvious. I won't repeat the words that are said, but the fact that we see that ugly side that typically most people like shy away from, it's relevant. Nowadays, you know, you call a Hispanic an illegal immigrant, that's a racial slur. Back in the day, the other racial slurs were tough. And you see the unfairness. At one point in the film, when Richard is young, he sells burritos to make money so he could buy burritos. To sell. He sells them to make money so that he can buy Judy some chocolate. When he goes to buy all the chocolate, he gets caught by the cops and arrested. And he makes a good point. If you treat someone like a thug, what do you think they're going to become when they get older? But, man, this movie, it hit a lot of the right spots, and I mean that in a good way. It's not just about hot Cheetos, Flamin Hot Cheetos. It's more or less about the family aspect of it, about pushing forward, about working hard. The old adage of Mexicans work hard, it's accurate. We bust our ass, and this film made me proud. I'll be honest with you. This film, very personal. Again, I did not expect it. This movie had no reason being as good as it was, and it was directed by Eva Longoria, someone who I don't expect her to be a good director. But this film, it hit all the right spots. I highly recommend this film to everybody, but in particular, if you are Latino, if you are the son or the daughter of immigrants, if immigrants come from your family in any capacity, or even if you just want to see a good story about your culture and your people, I recommend this film 100 times over. It's a great one. It's an A+, something that I don't really dole out. And yes, maybe it is because of favoritism or personality bias, because again, I see my family genuinely see aspects of, you know, me growing up in this film. Probably, but it's my show, and if you don't like it, you can fuck off. That probably wasn't polite to put. That said, though, what did you think of Flamin' Hot? Go ahead and comment down below. We greatly appreciate it, and if you can check out our podcast. Also, subscribe if you're so inclined to do so. I don't know about y'all, but I'm gonna keep eating these. Bye, everyone. This is just for a picture, but like I'm actually eating them. They're fucking